fireworks going off here. And thank you, Rosie, yes I do. How sweet it is that you made me all those greens. Ooh. How sweet it is that you made all those packages of greens for me, Rosie. So good. So good. Thank you so much. Rosie can do it. Rosie can do it. She's like, bam. And I'm going to make more salad tomorrow. And I'm stoked. Zen Farms. Benton Harbor, Michigan. I can't wait to come out and check out the farm. Hey, Gary Lambert. How are you, sir? So, Rosie, if you are still there, yes it is. How sweet it is that Rosie made me all these packages of beautiful greens. I can bring you on camera, so whenever you want to come on, we can share a screen, which is really cool. It's like high-tech and shit. Amelia Ray, what's up, girl? I won't stop. Thank you, baby. Jeff Metzger in the house. My niece is in Laguna Beach. Yeah, tonight I'm on Facebook going, live in Laguna Beach. I think, is it going to storm again tonight? Lillian's like, hi, Peter. What? We have LA. We're coast to coast. We have Southern California. Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you really quick. Okay, I have a guest tonight, Gary Lambert, because it's one more Saturday night, but check this out. Check this out. I'm going to add you. You don't have to say yes right now. But see how you're being asked if you would like to be added to. But I want to just come to the farm and do an 11-11 there. My friend Rosie grows all this incredible organic produce. And she donated these big, beautiful bags. They're in my fridge. Well, they're actually not on my fridge. They're in my mom's fridge. But some of them are in mine. Fresh, beautiful, hand-picked by my friend. I'm hugging them now. Greens and all kinds of greens that she donated to 11-11 with Jenna. Hello. I think I might sleep on this pillow tonight because it's cool. My apartment is so hot. The floor is hot. You know how they say the roof is on fire? My floor is on fire. It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So, that's how it happens. Right? Yes. Oh, because I have 3 fans. In my place. Oh, I don't even know what this is. Sorry. Just for me. Well, I get to share because there's so much, and I juice a lot, so I might, and I just got it. I'm so excited. So thank you. My other guest is coming on. Can we try tomorrow morning? Would you like to be here tomorrow morning? Because I do 11-11 every day, AM, PM. Yeah. I don't even get hot flashes when I'm just like burning up. I miss that whole thing. My friends are always like, oh, I have a hot flash. I'm like, I didn't get a hot flash. I'm always cold. But not right now. Hi, Jeff Henderson. I am drinking hot tea. Maybe that's not such a good idea. Anyway, I gotta get one more Saturday night with Gary Lambert on. We talk a little bit beforehand, like, hey, what's up, and are we doing this? But we just know we're doing it. Now I have to find you, Gary Lambert. Where'd you go? Oh, that's because I call you this way. I have different ways of communication with people. I had so much fun today. Mama Grace and I cruised. She loved it out at the farm. Okay. I guess I should turn on my microphone, because then maybe there's a lot going on here. A lot of strands for the dudette.
Here I am.
Hi there. You're all set.
There. I guess I am.
Is it hot in New York?
It's been feeling kind of not hot, but like humidity is starting to become a factor. And it's the summer solstice.
I know.
It is summer. It felt like it was almost never spring, but it's summer.
Because it was never anything for a while.
It was never, yes. I mean,
it just was.
Time is suspended.
It just was.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I have to put you on the tripod, the real tripod now.
Right.
What do you got going on there? Drinking water?
Yeah, just some hint water.
Oh, I like hint.
It's not bad.
I make my own hint, but I appreciate hint doing what they did.
Yeah, I like doing things with my own fruit essences, but I'm not always that ambitious.
Right. What kind are you? What's your flavor?
This is pineapple. I bought like a variety pack, so I've been going through them, and I've had the watermelon and the cherry and the blackberry, and now I've got the pineapple.
Check you out, Gary Lambert.
Yeah.
What's that groovy artwork behind you?
Groovy artwork behind.
Is that a lamp, or is that?
There's a lamp directly behind me.
So there's like a blue.
Oh, the sort of native Southwestern looking. That is the box for a Grateful Dead box set from their tour of the Pacific Northwest, actually, in 1973 and 74. So it's like 6 shows over the course of 2 years.
And is that a box set? Is that CDs or is that an album?
CDs with a really nice book in it, and nice piece of work.
Father's Day plan. Okay, so I'm following what Rosie's saying. Okay, another time or Monday morning, whenever. Hi, Pippa. Pippa used to live in Oakland.
Nice.
And Berkeley, Oakland, Berkeley. See, you're very light again.
Yeah. Let me turn my screen down. That worked last time. I will darken my screen. I think that will help make me. Does that help?
Yes.
Good.
There he is. Whoop, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see the photo collage that I posted today?
I don't think I did.
Well, did you see the Star Trek one?
No, I sort of lax in my Facebooking the last day or so. I've been doing a lot of online stuff, but not so much Facebook. I've been watching a lot of streaming stuff.
Yeah. Well, there was a photo collage about 4 days ago that went viral of where they took William Shatner, the male members of Star Trek.
I did see that, yes.
Did you see the Grateful Dead one?
The Grateful Dead one is very unnerving.
Well, that photo of Bob, Clayton Carl actually shot that.
Yeah, I did see where you made note of that. So yeah.
He was a little upset by it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
You know.
At first, because when I first saw the photo, it was Phil, and I was like, "Gosh, she looks familiar to me."
Yeah.
My mom can't find us. Come on, Grace, you can find us.
Come on, Mama Grace.
Come on, Mama Grace, you can get there.
Jeff Metzger wants to know what my shirt is.
That was my next question.
This is. Do my shirts come out backwards on your screen, or?
Yeah.
Because this is the strange thing of this whole. This is a T-shirt. I have a lot of Arcane minor league baseball T-shirts, and this one is for the team of the Hebrew Orphan Asylum in New York City. There was a Hebrew Orphan Asylum way uptown, like 135th Street or something like that, and they had like a semi-pro baseball team. And their ballpark was actually where a lot of Negro League games got played in the 20s and 30s when baseball was still segregated. And they gave over their field to the Negro League. And then it almost wound up being the site of Yankee Stadium. The Yankees almost moved there before they moved to the Bronx. So it's kind of historic. And Hebrew Orphan Asylum, how could I not? Now that I am a Hebrew orphan, passing of my parents, so it makes sense.
How did you find the shirt?
On Haight Street in San Francisco, there's the Haight-Ashbury T-shirt company.
Sure.
Where I've been going for years. They have a lot of great jazz, and you see my Thelonious Monk shirt and my Bud Powell, and I get Howlin' Wolf. I get all my shirts there, and now they have this really excellent collection of old minor league, mostly no longer functioning baseball teams. So this is from the, I would guess, early 20th century.
So, I want to talk about concerts you've seen.
Concerts? There have been plenty of them.
And can you tell us some of them? I mean, we've dabbled in this in the past, but
yeah.
I know there's some gems in there that I'd be like, ooh, you did it. Where? What?
Yeah. Well, I think you and I talked about this not on your show, but privately, because you asked me some questions.
Right.
One time, and you asked me
on my Patreon page. If you go to my Patreon page, you can see some of those answers.
Right. And you asked me the first real concert I went to.
Yeah.
And it was Harry Belafonte. It was, I would call it the first real concert. There's probably little concerts in my school and things like that. But in 1959, I think it was, Harry Belafonte put out this incredible album, Belafonte at Carnegie Hall. And I was obsessed with that album. I just knew it inside out. I could sing all the songs. This was like when I'm 9 years old. And then the next year, after the Carnegie Hall album was a huge hit, he came back he lived in New York, but he came back and played at the RKO Palace Theater on Broadway. And my parents took me. And it was just completely riveting and I mean, first of all, he's Harry Belafonte. Just one of the most charismatic, incredible humans ever. And I didn't even know anything about him as far as his social activism, or just what an incredible human being he is on every level. But he was already like a musical hero of mine. And what I also didn't really consider at the time, because I was 9 when this concert happened, was that I was getting introduced to world music. Because he was playing, he brought Calypso. He didn't bring it to the United States, but he really put it on the pop charts. And he would be doing all these like West African folk songs. And it was under Harry's sponsorship that Baba Olatunji got some of his first exposure in the United States, and Miriam Makeba and UMass Michaela. They all were like his opening acts. Not at the show I saw, but and he always had incredible bands. And so that was my first real big hit of live music, and it was a great place to start because he's been a lifelong hero of mine, and even more so as I found out just what a great human he is, and humanitarian. And so that was a good place to start my live music life.
And it never stopped. The music never stopped.
The music, indeed, never stopped. I was hooked on the idea of going to see live music from very early on, right as often as I could, even as a young kid. And I got to see weird. I saw Benny Goodman and a later edition of his big band, which was one of my earliest jazz turn-ons. And weird I saw the Four Seasons one time, and I saw the Beatles at Shea Stadium. So
didn't you see the Beatles? Have you seen them? Did you see them twice?
No, I just saw them the one time.
How old were you then?
I was 15.
And how did you get how did that happen? How did one get to see the Beatles?
I spent a bunch of years at summer camp in upstate New York. And it was a very sports-oriented summer camp. I was kind of like a little jock. You know,
really?
I played a lot. Well, I played basketball, and because of my mom's story, obviously I was into track and field, and I was in the little league and all that stuff. It's sort of before you find out about rock and roll, you dream, I'll play center field for the Yankees someday, or some other incredibly impractical dream. And so I was really into sports. But then the Beatles hit. They came here in early '64, and they caught my attention in a big way. And then other things like the civil rights movement caught my attention in a big way, and I started getting more socially conscious. And so my last summer at this summer camp was 1966, which was a fantastic summer just musically. We had these great AM radio stations in New York, and we hear all the Beatles just would dominate the charts for a while, and then some great Motown hits would happen, and there was the Love and Spoonful, who were like my favorite American band for a while, and it was a glorious time to be listening to radio, and Sophie and Dylan, like Rolling Stone was on the radio, all that stuff. And in 1966, my brother called and informed me that he had scored a couple of tickets to see the Beatles at Shea Stadium their second time. It was their last tour of the United States, and it was just about 6 days before their last official concert ever at Candlestick Park. We didn't know that at the time, of course. We thought the Beatles would be around forever. But my brother got tickets. Here's how unlike the way we are now, the music business was then. The exclusive place where you could buy tickets for the Beatles was at Singer Sewing Machine Centers. For some reason, I guess Singer Sewing Machines had a deal with the promoter or something like that. The Beatles weren't endorsing Singer Sewing Machines, as far as I know, but they sold tickets at their stores, and that's where a lot of tickets were available in those days, at retail stores. They didn't have Ticketron yet. Yeah, there was no Ticketron. You would go and get either a hard ticket or a little voucher for a ticket.
I have a technical difficulty. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to be stealth here, and it's not working.
Okay.
Darn it. Hold on, everybody. But you can keep talking. We're listening.
Oh. So, yes, my brother informed me that he got me a ticket for the Beatles at the Singer Sewing Machine store. And, of course, there was no way I was going to miss that. And my parents granted permission for me to leave summer camp a week early. Come back down to New York the day before the show. And it was just, of course, ridiculously thrilling. And that was by the next summer, I was in a little, hippie, artsy, craftsy summer camp. Because I wasn't going back to the sport.
You had a hippie, artsy summer camp?
Well, I was actually not, I was what they call a counselor in training. One of my old school principals from this private school and one of my old teachers from the same school were part of this summer camp, and I guess they thought I was cool or something. They invited me to be there, it's sort of like a hybrid of being an actual camper, but you want to supervise some younger kids. So yeah, that was the summer of love. That was summer of 1967, and I made this transition from athletic camp to artsy crafty camp in the Berkshires. And that there was no looking back. That was the major, massive turning point in my social consciousness and existence and everything. So yeah, that's where. And then that fall, I wound up in this pretty off the wall little alternative high school on the Upper West Side.
We walked past there.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where I started meeting real hippies. And that's where people started turning me on. all sorts of things.
What was the name of that school?
Robert Louis Stevenson. You know, the whole school had like 75 kids in it or something like that. You know, really small classes, and the rules were pretty lax, and it was custom made for me because I was, you know, I was pretty washed out on the educational system by that point. So it really, in very fundamental ways, like, prepared me for everything else that happened after that.
How much were those Beatles tickets, do you remember?
Yeah, they were, I want to say about $6. I mean, they really not much, you know, less than $6. I think the top, we were in the second deck. I think maybe our tickets were like $4.50, something like that. You know, tickets, front row tickets to a Broadway show were about $6 or $7 at that time. You know, crazy.
Speaking of, did you read what Live Nation? Did you read that article?
That's horrendous. I mean, the artists are going to push back. You know, I mean, it's they're not going to get away with that. I think it's a bargaining position more than anything else.
Really? Because I mean, for them to do that, that means everything's below Live Nation, and then it trickles down to, you know, a house concert where people are going to go, oh, you actually want to pay people to have people come perform for you in your house? Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what form the pushback takes. But Jeff Tweedy came out with a really cool thing. Speaking of pushing back, he made this long statement, which was posted on Wilco's social media, where he wants to establish in the music business, basically, the equivalent of reparations. You know, where, you know, you just catalog the years of black artists being ripped off for their publishing, for, you know, for having to play in unendurable situations and substandard conditions for so many years. And a fund would be established where the music industry would, like, you know, dedicate a certain amount of its profits to the black community and black arts education and stuff like that. And I think it's a great idea, and I really hope it gets some traction. So I was proud of Jeff for that. If you go to the Wilco like Facebook page or Twitter feed.
That's Jeff Metzger's, like our one more Saturday night librarian.
Yes, Jeff. Yeah, go to Wilco on Facebook and find that link, and it's really, really worth reading.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Penny, my cousin. Oh, hi, Penny. Lots of fun people. So Beatles, and then what? I don't know what's going on here. It says I have a low battery, but I'm being charged. You're being charged, so something's going wonky on my phone.
Okay. Well, sometimes the little plug thing is like, you know.
It's in, and it even shows that it's charging.
It's charging. Well, you'll be okay then. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, you know, the Beatles. Once I saw the Beatles, it was like I was going to see as much live music as I could. And of course, New York was just the most incredible place to be for that. Yeah, it was just, it's stunning to like find an old copy of the Village Voice or the New York Times and look at the music ads, and just page after page just filled with the most incredible lineups of people playing clubs. You know.
That was even happening in the early 90s. Like, you could still look at the Village Voice and it'd be page after page and like ads for so many clubs and so many people playing, and you just open it up and go, oh, cool, I'm going to go see Cassandra tonight at 8, and then I'm going to run over to the Vanguard and see such and such, and then I'm going to go to Smalls, and then I'm going to go to the Zinc Bar at 3 a.m.
Yeah, and then, you know, within a year and a half, or less than 2 years anyway.
And that's just the jazz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, the jazz. I mean, I saw, when I was, I guess, 16, went to the Village Gate and saw a double bill of B.B. King and Herbie Mann.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was B.B. at a real, just like, you know, B.B. King in 1967, 68 was just absolutely top of his game. Herbie Mann had a great band. You know, so I was just getting turned on to new stuff.
Have I ever told you my Herbie Mann story?
I don't think so.
It's not very long. I dated his son years and years ago in Berkeley, and he said, "Hey, my dad's playing tonight at a place in San Francisco. Do you want to go?" And I go, and at the time I didn't know his name was Paul Mann. I didn't go. And I go, your dad's playing in a club? Yeah, he's playing at Kimball's. I go, Dad's playing at Kimball's? Who's your dad? He goes, Herbie Mann. I didn't know your dad was Herbie Mann. Of course. So we had gone, I don't know, like on a hike at 7 a.m. and then to breakfast in North Beach and then, Mission District party, drinking, I was like 21, 22 years old. And we go to the late show, like 10 o'clock, Kimball's, in the city. We walk in, there's a whole crew of us go in. And it was so soothing. But we were in this big round table right in the front. And we were so soothing. And I was kind of, my head on his shoulder watching his dad. And I fell asleep. And afterwards, he goes, let's go say hi to my dad. I'm like, I'm cool. I'll stay here. You go say hi to your dad, and I'll just hang out here in the bar. Because he saw me go to sleep. I know it did. I mean, I wasn't like snoring, but I was like, I'm like, no, it's cool. Because I remember waking up, and he was like, dude's sleeping during my show. And he goes, you have to. I really want you to meet. See, it keeps telling me. You have to. I'm going to switch plug in a second. So I go backstage with him, and we walk back, and right when we walked in, there's, they're all partying and whatever, and he goes, hey, the girl that fell asleep during your set's back here, Harry. So embarrassed. I mean, it wasn't Harry that said it at first. It was like the percussionist or something. They all saw me falling asleep. Yeah, that's the cute girl that was.
If you're sitting close enough,
asleep on your son's shoulder.
Yeah. Well, that's you could have said, well, the music just put me in a very meditative state.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me snoring or anything, so I may have been meditating.
I know that Phil Elwood kind of fell.
Phil used to fall asleep at our shows. He
fell asleep at one of my shows, and well, I didn't know it was him, but during the show at Yoshi's, you hear this crash, 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 and of course, Andre and I say something about the party started now.
Right.
Well, it was Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in pretty close proximity to snoozing Phil Elwood a number of times, but.
See, Bill believes me. He said Fluke can do that.
There you go.
Fluke can really, yeah. Maybe I should listen. Maybe I should listen to Mr. Mann when I can't sleep at night. Because that's what I call it. Hi, Mr. Mann.
Mr. Mann, of course.
Sir Mann. So okay. We talked concerts, and we could do that for hours.
Of course.
Who have you met that, like, when you met them, you couldn't? Has there ever been anyone where you couldn't speak? You know what I mean? Where they took your breath away when you went, there's.
Well, actually, I actually saw Harry Belafonte standing outside a restaurant, probably not too long after my experience seeing him live. I actually ran outside and got an autograph. That was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But I think there was no one that had me so starstruck that I couldn't talk to them, or, maybe I was pretty nervy, or maybe I felt a certain comfort around musicians,
Really? No one?
Huh?
No one, huh? Nobody.
Aretha would have done it to me, but I never met her. There are probably a few who, Sinatra, there are probably some people who I would have found very foreboding to me.
I couldn't speak when I met James Taylor.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
ha, 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 day? And he's like, hi, like, are you okay?
Yeah. I had like a very brief hello with Bruce Springsteen one time.
You did?
At a swimming pool in Arizona, yeah.
Oh, that's a line of a song, Gary.
At the Arizona Biltmore Hotel. I went to a dear old friend of mine who was a major Bruce fan, as was I, was living in Arizona. And we just decided that I would fly down there and we would go to a show together. And I got an incredible deal on a room at the Arizona Biltmore, which is a really, really great hotel.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, so, and not even thinking about it, that's where Bruce and the E Street Band were playing. So my friend Kathy and I went out to the pool, and we were actually in like the jacuzzi part of the pool, and basically there's the whole band hanging, and so yeah, I talked a little with Clarence, and I met Clarence because he had played with our guys. And, talked with Nils a little bit, just they were very approachable guys, and then I see Bruce Bruce was there with his family, so we really didn't want to intrude, so but just a great show last night, Bruce, thanks, there's very, very, momentary, but he's also eminently approachable from everything I've heard, I had a funny moment with Bob Dylan.
Ooh.
Well, this was when he did the tour with the Dead in 1987.
I was there.
Yeah, well, he came to the Bay Area. That tour was such a weird experience for like everyone involved because Bob Dylan is a strange individual. But they had these rehearsals at the old place on Front Street in San Rafael. And one day, I was going to Front Street for a meeting with Phil Lesh because we were just about to start our radio show on KPFA that we did for 8 years. And so we had this meeting arranged. And then when the meeting was over, Dennis McNally said to me, don't leave just yet. He said, come with me. And he takes me around from the front of the Dead studio building. He says, come in here. And he takes me into what was then the very beginnings of the Grateful Dead's tape vault, which at the time was nothing. It was like a very large walk-in closet, basically, at this funky old warehouse building they used for a studio. And he said, just sit here. He pulls in a little stool and says, sit here. And this room had a door that faced out into the lobby of the building and another door that faced into the studio, end of the studio. And he left that door open a crack. And then Bob Dylan showed up to rehearse with the Grateful Dead. And I sat there for 2.5 hours and heard just this loose, fun, trying out all kinds of different songs that never wound up on the tour. And it just was so mind-blowing that I got to be a fly on the wall for this, and I wasn't really supposed to be there, but I wasn't supposed not to be there either, like no one came to throw me out, but it was a closed rehearsal.
You just act like, don't be small, but just kind of like.
I couldn't see them because it was just the door was open just enough of a crack that you could hear everything. And Dick Lavelle, the archivist, was in there with me too, and we said, can you believe we're doing this? And then I went to leave, and there's Bob Dylan, like, leaning against the car reading the newspaper. And so, I just pulled myself together to say, it sounded good in there. And he said, all right. That was the sum total of my conversations today with Bob Dylan. All right.
I've been around him twice. Once was at Jazz Fest, night concert, and he did a night show, and my friend Alexa Birdsong did all the night stage stuff. This was back in the 80s, 90s, into the 2000s, and Cassandra Wilson. Was it her show or was it Bob's show? I can't remember. But we were backstage with Cassandra, and he started walking, and the two of them met, and everybody was like stepped away,
right?
Like, and made this circle around Cassandra Wilson and Bob Dylan, and they were like bowing at each other. Like, he's like, "Oh my God, Cassandra Wilson." She's like, "Oh my God, Bob Dylan," and we're going for like 15 minutes. They just were like, and they'd hug, and then they would talk, and then
I mean, that's actually that's surprising for him. You know, that's like more demonstrative than you would expect him to be from all experience.
Yeah.
The thing about the tour with the Grateful Dead is Bob is so perverse, and so, you know, they planned this tour, and at the time, the Grateful Dead were much bigger than Bob Dylan. And they were selling out stadiums, and he would like have empty seats at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. But they just thought it would be so cool to do a tour with Bob Dylan that they did equal billing. They split the pay 50-50, meaning Bob Dylan got half the money by himself.
Wow.
And the Grateful Dead split the other, you know, the other half 5 ways. And they provided everything. The crew, the technical stuff, the PA. Dylan showed up for the tour without even a guitar of his own. He borrowed guitars from the Dead. He may have had his own harmonica. I'm not sure. But so the initial idea behind the tour, because the Dead were doing so well at that point, that was the summer that Touch of Grey came out, and so they were just on top of the freaking world. So the idea of the tour was going to be very egalitarian, like maybe almost a little like the Rolling Thunder Revue, where Bob would come out and sing some songs with the Grateful Dead, and then the Grateful Dead would come out and sing some songs with Bob, and he would sing some of their songs, and they would sing some of his songs, and that's what the rehearsals were like. They were very communal, and a week before the tour, Dylan's management call says, "Okay, Bob doesn't want to do it that way. He just wants you play your 2 cents, and then he'll come out and you'll back him up." Which was really kind of a it was not cool to do.
Do you think that was a management decision?
No, I think it was. Dylan is very perverse that way. Like he'll agree to something and he'll get cold feet. And he actually later admitted that he did not have very much confidence in himself as a performer at that point. So he needed things to be exactly the way he was used to. He was later, I think, kind of contrite about that, but he just wasn't ready to try anything really experimental at that point. So basically, the way the tour went on, they wouldn't see Dylan until they were on stage with him. He would not socialize. He even had like a separate path from his dressing room to the stage than everyone else had. Like one of those little pipe and drape tunnels, what they call an ego tunnel sometimes.
They call them an ego tunnel?
Ego tunnel, yeah. And so they'd be on stage with Bob, and that's the way it would be. So it was kind of a frustrating experience for them in a way, because he was so, like, not there. And I've heard he's done that with other people too, but what the hell, he's Bob Dylan, so. Yeah.
Tell me, guitar. Oh, I can't think of his name now. But I was thinking of a story. My favorite, do you have a favorite summer solstice memory in life?
Wow.
My friend Bill said, Dylan is not a nice person.
There seems to be some consensus in that direction. He also, he did basically the same thing to Wilco and My Morning Jacket when he toured with them a few years ago.
Really?
Where they were going to do a very communal tour and like take turns closing the show, and then Dylan basically did exactly the same thing he did to the Dead.
What a drag.
He's a perverse individual, and there's many stories throughout his career that attest to that. But
my friend Arthur worked with him for a long time. Do you know Arthur Rosado?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Arthur worked with him and Bruce, and he worked kind of with. He was like the 5th member of a lot of bands because he photographed and did sound and stuff. I need to get him on the show. He's got a new book coming out of his photography, his rock.
Oh, that would be. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So can I tell you my favorite summer solstice?
Sure.
Greek theater.
Mm-hmm.
3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Summer solstice, full moon. I think it was 1986. Could have been 87. Grateful Dead, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I walked from my house on Carlton Street to back and forth. That was when it was like I used to go to Alpine and stuff and would camp for 5 days in Wisconsin and, you know, travel to Colorado and travel here. And then when I lived in Berkeley, I could walk to see the Dead. Yeah. And there would be no Shakedown Street because it was just like, because the world was Shakedown Street in Berkeley at that time.
Basically, yeah.
But that's my favorite. So that's my summer solstice that I'll never, ever, ever, I hold it like, and I drank mushroom tea and just hung out and had fun and walked home and came back and walked home and it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good time. So do you have any plans this week? Big plans?
You know, work stuff, back to recording the radio show, and
any movement towards getting back into the city for the shows?
They haven't told us anything, you know, and I think they are beholden to the people who run Rockefeller Center as far as the guidelines are concerned, and in turn, the city. So I'm just proceeding as if this is the reality for now, and when we can get back to the other reality, we will. I'm fine with the way things are. I mean,
Mark Ruffin was on the show on last Sunday,
right?
And he was talking about that he's actually going. I think he and his wife were going to be going out of town because he can do everything from his laptop now, pretty much.
Right. That's basically it. We're doing all the production on computers, and we've come up with a pretty efficient, you know, way of doing it. I mean, David and I work well together, and we're trying some experiments with doing like third-party interviews, and we're trying to see if we can get the sound good enough on a Zoom connection. The way we've done one so far is I'm here, David and I, we communicate via Zoom, but we each have our own digital recorders to get like the actual pristine digital sound quality of our voices, and then I send my audio file to David, and he edits together. Cool. So it's like, you know, one kind. And we tried it with a third person last week, but he was not really technically savvy as to being interviewed. He was kind of treating it like it was a Zoom meeting. So he was like sort of yelling across the room at his computer. So it didn't really sound like a radio interview so much, but it was fun. And we're gonna fine tune that a little bit and see if we can make it sound more like radio. Well, but the cool thing about that everyone's been doing such off-the-cuff media that you'll even see like a Jimmy Fallon interview like have little Zoom glitches in it, or Stephen Colbert or whatever. You know, they all are dealing with the technological limitations. So.
Or Jenna Mammina, 11:11 with Jenna. But you're all plugged in now. Everything's good. Every week I get new equipment.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing with all these dongles and these microphones and this stuff?
Right, it's like
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Jenna Mammina Studios.
It is. It's my kitchen is my studio now. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Will you come back next Saturday?
One of these days I'm going to need a Saturday off, but
Do you need next Saturday off?
Let me take next Saturday off because I've got a bit of a load right now. See, this week we didn't do the Shakedown Stream thing yesterday.
I know. I looked for it.
So yeah, we took 1 week off. We just decided both because it was Juneteenth and we wanted to defer that, you know, and not just have it be entertainment as usual, and also because we all needed it. You know, we just said this has been. It's interesting. It takes a lot of forethought.
Oh my goodness! Every day I'm on twice a day. I've got I got to go be on 11:11, and Gary's coming back, and this is happening, and every day is a different thing. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. So we're dealing with. We pick a different charity to benefit each week, and we have to get all the legal stuff with that and getting their information onto YouTube. So it's kind of labor intensive, but it's also so much fun. So we took this week off, and then let me take next Saturday off.
Okay.
And you can find a fine new guest, a fine surrogate for me, and then I'll come back.
Do you see me pouting?
Are you really pouting? I don't want to. I don't want to. I mean,
I understand.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
No, you take next week off. I'll figure it out.
Okay. If you're having, I mean, people are clamoring to be on 11:11 with Jenna, so it won't be a problem. But if for some reason you're hurting for a guest, I'm an easy touch.
Well, I will never be hurting for a guest with this girl.
Hi, Lillian. The best guest. Or is she the host? She might be the real host.
Yeah, she's the host.
Lillian allows you to be on her show.
This is Lillian's world. I took her to the vet 2 days ago, and the vet said that she has the best teeth of any dog he's ever seen.
That is impressive.
Young, old. He's like, what do you feed her? What do you do? He was asking me all these questions. What is going on here? It's like, I've never seen a dog. I'm like, I was afraid he was going to say that she needed to have her teeth cleaned, and that's like $700.
Right.
Nope, that's teeth. Best teeth award.
Yay, Lillian.
Yay, Lillian. Yeah, we have a good time.
Cool.
Well, are you seeing any Village Vanguard tomorrow? Anything happening?
Yeah, I'm going to watch VJIR tomorrow. I watched, had I already done that last week?
No, it was just what happened.
Billy Hart was like the next day. I saw the matinee on the Sunday, which was fantastic. I mean, just seeing the Vanguard again, I almost
How do you
started
do
crying.
it? Explain if you don't mind.
Yeah, go to villagevanguard.com.
Okay.
And you can do it right up to the minute of the show, but they actually sell it. Yeah, they're doing it for $7 a set, which is to support the Vanguard. Such a bargain. And you go to villagevanguard.com and you click on the link, and you can buy an advance ticket either for the Saturday evening show, which happened at 7 o'clock this evening, or the 2 p.m. matinee on Sunday. And then you come back. You can log back on like 15 minutes before the set time. And there you are. There's the Vanguard. There are the pictures of the Bill Evans trio on the wall, and the framed poster for Thelonious Monk, Straight No Chaser. And it is just, I almost started crying the first time. I virtually walked in there. It was just so beautiful.
And VJ's tomorrow. That's cool. I love VJ.
VJ's. I saw him not long ago, Jazz Standard, and it just blew me away.
Is he playing trio tomorrow?
It is trio. I forget who's with him tomorrow, but he always has incredible people. And I think it's Joe Lovano is somewhere in the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure they'll be doing great stuff for the whole time that they have to. I'll be watching that. On Thursday night, I watched the Levon Helm 80th celebration it was so, this may have been the best streaming event that I've seen since all this started. It was the production and the way they staged it. Have you ever been up to the barn?
I've driven past it.
Yeah,
I haven't been there yet, but Eric is always saying, dude, we got you and Ralph and I, we got to go to the barn.
When they're doing it again, you got it. Such a beautiful space, and they had it set up. Of course, all the seats were out, so the musicians were spread all around the room, and the horns were actually on the back porch,
and
they had these like little sound baffles between them, and it was the regular Midnight Ramble band: Larry Campbell, Teresa Williams, Amy Helm. Brian Mitchell on keys, and they did a lot of stuff together, and then they brought in guests from around the country. Phil and Graham Lick sang Addicts of My Life with them, they must have done some pre-recording and then had the guests overdub their part, because you can't do that in real time. Yeah, they're working on it. They are working on it. And Margaret Price sang This Wheel's on Fire from Nashville. It was so beautifully done, and it was like the spirit of Levon was just like so evident. It was really fantastic. So I was glad I watched that. they've been doing the Lock-In Festival all weekend. You know, they this would have been the weekend of the Lock-In Festival.
Wow.
Had the thing not happen. So they've been streaming highlights from the festivals up till now, and I've been revisiting my recent past because I've been to all of them. So I'm seeing some of my favorite sets, and I'll be watching some more of that tomorrow. The variety of music that you can avail yourself of at home right now is really kind of a saving grace.
This is the first weekend we haven't played in a month.
Yeah. The Metropolitan Opera is doing Philip Glass tonight and tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Akhenaten, I think, tonight, and Satyagraha tomorrow. Their broadcasts are incredible, you know, because the Met has been doing high-def transmissions to movie theaters for years.
I've seen those. I've seen the Met, the opera.
They're stunning.
At Notre Dame, they present them at Notre Dame. You buy them like a regular ticket. It's like $30 to go see this HD crazy backstage Metropolitan Opera and different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are doing a free opera every night, and like it starts at 8 p.m. and then you can stream it anytime until like 6 o'clock the next day. That day's opera. So, and I've seen some fantastic stuff. You know, just beautiful production of Falstaff a while back, and they did the whole Ring Cycle. I mean, there's like a lot. Lulu by Alban Berg, which is, you know, maybe the greatest 20th century opera, I think. And then the Philip Glass pieces are stunning. So I recommend that.
In Tuck and Patty tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
And a lot.
Excellent.
The Leave-On thing. Jeff is asking about that. I think is it still available?
You know, go to
different people.
Yeah, I think it may have expired today, or maybe tomorrow. If you go to, it's not a freebie. It was a benefit from the Newport Jazz Foundation, or the Newport Folk Foundation, rather, Festival Foundation. So go to Nugs TV, NUGS Nugs TV, and it might still be available through tomorrow. I can't remember for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really generous. It's like 2.5 hours, and you know, really beautifully produced. It cost like $20, but it was worth it for for the benefit thing. Yeah.
You can't even buy a T-shirt anymore for $20 unless you go to Goodwill like I do. So.
True.
Okay. Well, thank you, Gary Lambert. I love you, and I miss you. And I think maybe next weekend, next Saturday, maybe Tom and I will do a show. We'll do a concert.
There you go. That's cool.
Every day is different.
And we'll be in touch.
Okay, for sure.
You
have not been into the city yet, have you?
I have not. I have not since, what was it, March 10th, I think.
Since that night,
Yeah.
I've just been watching a couple of people that have said they've gone on the subway. And
I almost want to, just out of the curiosity for like what a strange experience the subway would be, but I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm in St. Joe, Michigan, and I'm not ready yet.
Right. There you go.
I didn't even go to the farmer's market today because I went to Zen Farm Organics in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
All right.
Gary Lambert.
Love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes. Zen Farm. Yum. I can't wait. Looking in the Morning with Keller Williams, Grateful Gospel. Oh. He'll be back. Well, kids, I almost want to go make a salad. I'm so excited. And sometimes I do, but I had such a beautiful dinner tonight that I'm just going to. Hey, you want to see my celery? Check it out. Speaking of, I'm growing my celery. He's always a treat. So next Saturday, could be Tom and I performing. Mary Carson, yeah, we could go out there together. That would be fun. Make it a party. I have to go drink some more tea. I've had this tickle. So have a lovely morning. and a beautiful rest wherever you are, or dinner, whatever you're about to go do. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Rosie, oh, she's got Father's Day plans tomorrow. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, well, we could do that. We'd have to drive. I social distance because of Gracie. Celery sprouts. Oh, yeah. And then you plant the whole thing because they root. See? They have little roots. See those little roots? Some of them root quicker than others. See those? See the root? Yeah. Ooh, add a cone to my tea. So I can take a nice sleep. Y'all, I got to go. 11:11 with Jenna is about to go get coned. Thanks, Rosie. Thank you, Gary Lambert. Thank each and every one of you. Thank you for supporting 11:11 with Jenna. If you're feeling it, I have a Venmo page. I have PayPal. Yes, pop in. And babe. Yes. Yes. I did. And then I flipped. Venmo, PayPal, and what's the other thing? Patreon. Patreon. It feels good. Doesn't it feel good to give, Rosie? I know she does. I mean, like, she gave me a grocery bag full of greens, and I'm like, and then I open it up, and I'm like, wow, 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 wow. I can't wait to go massage my kale. Have a great one. Thank you. Good night, Bill. Night, Mama Grace. Good old checks. Oh, you could send a check. P.O. Box 197, St. Joseph, Michigan, 49085. Good old checks. I have CDs for sale. I have myself for sale. I have jewelry for sale. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, I'm so excited. Good night. Love hard.